We're going to begin the meeting tonight with a pledge to the flag.
Okay.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I can close this thing. I don't think I need one to the meeting. We're starting with a public hearing to consider a proposed local law to amend Chapter 248 of the Village Code to modify and clarify the rules for property maintenance. Could I have a reading and proof of publication?
Notice is hereby given that pursuant to Section 7-706 of the Village Law of the State of New York and pursuant to resolution of the Village Board of the Village of Baldwinsville adopted August 21st, 2025, a public hearing will be held by the Village Board of the Village of Baldwinsville at their regularly scheduled meeting on the 4th day of September 2025 at 6:03 p.m. to consider a proposed local law to amend Chapter 248 of the Village to modify and clarify the rules for property maintenance. A copy of the proposed local law may be examined by any interested party by contacting the office of the village clerk by order of the Village Board of the Village of Baldwinsville dated August 21st, 2025.
Thank you. Is there anyone in the audience wishing to speak in favor of the proposal? Seeing none, is there anyone wishing to speak against the proposal?
I have several objections. First, I'm curious why this wasn't published with the agenda, like as a PDF file that was readable?
It's published in the website under local law.
On the website? Okay.
Yep.
I didn't see that. I did look up for the agenda so I went down, I read it, and it seems to be written by, I'm going to say economic privilege. You're talking about maintenance, but sometimes people have hard times. So are they going to be fined to the point where they're losing their home because they can't afford the maintenance at that time? Or, if you want to live in an HOA, live in an HOA. This smacks to me of HOAs. Like, is it just for homeowners or is it buildings too? Because R&R Roofing frequently parks their vehicles on the lawn. Would that be a violation, or is it just for homeowners?
Property maintenance, I assume, covers property.
It was implied it was residential, but I'm asking for clarification.
I don't know if I can give you an answer to that. I don't even know if I
And
can.
many of us in the village don't have garages that our trash cans can go in, so they will be visible from the street, which is one of the violations listed in the proposal.
Okay. What
I
else,
just-
Sally?
Well, I think that's kind of a lot, don't you?
No,
mean-
I don't. You're asking about parking. That's one of the primary purposes of this, is people parking all over their front yards and building parking lots in their front yards and parking between sidewalks and the street.
Because most
And
of
most of this is in existing codes within our village.
so there's a code right now that says you can't park on the lawn?
You're not supposed to park in the right-of-way, highway right-of-way.
But they're not, they're in their lawn.
That right of way extends to the entire length of the property.
Yeah,
Even if you're in your driveway,
no,
you have to pull
yeah,
through.
they're not doing
Sidewalk
that,
is.
they're beyond the easement.
That's a tough property because of the way it's orientated. You'd have to get real specific in looking at that from a code standpoint because of the way it's on Elizabeth Street. So if they're parking behind their house line,
Yeah,
They're
corner
they're
lot.
parking
visible
beyond the
on the
sidewalk.
other side. So that's a,
As with any other code, anybody's welcome to appear before the ZBA and ask for a variance.
Right.
If there's
But
a
again-
hardship, all they have to do is appear before the ZBA.
Again, okay, say you get sick, you get behind on things, you're overwhelmed. Are you really gonna have the site to go, oh, I need to go to the ZBA?
If it's important to you, you'll find the time, yes.
Okay, so, again, I think this is a step towards financial gentrification of the village.
This is a step toward asking people to take care of their property so it does not detriment their neighbor's property.
It's,
Nobody's saying you have to put any type of anything in your yard, you have to expend any kind of money doing anything. It means you need to take care of your yard, not pile a bunch of debris in your front yard. Take your trash cans in after the trash hauler
but it's
empties
gonna
them.
be visible from the street because.
But you don't put them on your front yard.
No.
Take them to the back.
No, I don't.
I'm not talking to you specifically.
No, I'm just saying the people I know, it's down the driveway, but it's visible from the street. And what I read said it should not be visible from the street.
Okay, I can look into that. I think we're nitpicking, but go ahead.
Well, it's not nitpicking.
It
if I
is,
get-
Sally.
No, if I get a fine for $250 for the first offense, and then, or the second offense, and then it's $500 for the third offense, and then it's $1,000, or $500 and then $1,000. That's not inconsequential, that's not nitpicking.
It's not meant to be inconsequential. Fines are designed to get somebody to adhere to a law.
Again, I think this is a step towards financial gentrification. And the fact that you don't see it, perhaps you have more economic privilege than other people.
One could argue that any law is some form of gentrification. So this specific one is not aimed at that, for sure.
And if you're getting to the second and third fine, you haven't paid attention.
Define paid attention. Like,
Come to,
Well, you
if you
look
get,
at the
if you get
laws.
a fine, and you come before the ZBA or the board and you say, one, this is what happened, this is why it happened. If you have some financial hardship, they're here to listen.
Okay.
They're here to manage the exception.
because that's not in what I read, so that's why I have
But
questions.
again, we know with all laws, there are exceptions that we need to address. This,
Right.
if you have a specific instance, it can't be general. It's gotta be specific. Here's what happened on this day, and they'll review it and come up with something that's fair. But they won't not enforce the law.
Right, I'm just saying, things happen and sometimes people get
You're
behind.
100% correct.
And then, I don't think people should be fined to the point of losing their
This
homes.
gives the codes officer a tool to work with. Without it, he can't do anything.
I'll tell you, if I mow my lawn on Wednesday, or let's say Friday, is usually when I mow it, and I have to do what I call poop patrol in my backyard, I keep my cans in my garage. But guess what I don't do on Saturday and Sunday? Keep my cans in the garage. So they're visible by the street. So I'm gonna have to do something different.
Okay,
So this affects all of us.
but I'm just saying, I don't have a garage. Most of the people on my street, our properties are 50 feet wide and
Give the
125 feet.
back side of your house,
No,
that's what I have to do.
there's no,
So you may be talking about an exception to the rule, which can be managed through the ZBA.
okay, so I have to go for do I have to file a variance for everything individually, or is it just
They would handle that. I don't know the specifics of how it's handled.
okay. Like I said, I think it's a bad idea. I don't think it's community building.
It's already a law. This is clarifying and amending.
It's already a law.
There's already property maintenance laws on our books, yes.
But how does this, what's different about this?
Go talk to Tim. You spent an hour or 2 hours in there today. That does not define things clearly. It leaves it vague and open to interpretation.
Right, but that's why
This takes that out. It tells you specifically.
it just seems like it's a lot. I get it, you don't want to.
No, we're here for you to express your view, but the debate isn't what we're here for. Is there anyone else who would like to address the board? Hearing no other comments, could I have a motion to adjourn and close the public
Okay,
hearing?
one more.
I would.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm late. I also am not comfortable, I don't know the whole thing, because I didn't see a lot, but I'm not comfortable with the, feels like it's kind of like an HOA.
Okay, I'm gonna stop you right there.
Okay.
People calling it an HOA are speaking a different language.
Okay,
HOAs, they tell you what color the front door of your house will be. They'll tell you what kinds of trees you can plant. They're gonna tell you all kinds of restrictions, and yet that is in that community. This is saying you have to maintain your property to a certain acceptable standard. You have to
But-
mow your lawn, you have to put your trash cans away after the trash hauler empties them. It's not telling you you can't have
Well, so-
daffodils in your front yard.
suppose I fall and break my arm and I'm not available to put my trash can away.
How did it get out there?
I broke my arm after I put the trash out. I mean, things happen, and I don't.
He's not gonna be out if you leave your trash cans out for an extra day or two for this week, but you're consistently, it's not gonna be enforced like that. He's not gonna be waiting at your door the morning after garbage day with it's not gonna be enforced like that. This is gonna be enforced by habitual people.
Right.
Who abuse existing law.
Right.
This simply gives him the tools to enforce that.
So what
this
is
is-
the existing law? Like what's,
It's 248 of the code.
yes.
I don't
but
have it in front of me.
Probably most of us don't have it in front of us or know exactly what that is.
It's online, right?
Everybody has access to the code.
But does
So,
who
right,
knows?
the first offense doesn't have a monetary problem. It doesn't have a monetary fine to it. The second offense does. The first offense, he goes to your property, he discusses with you what was done, why he's there to be able to talk to you about it. And then you have a conversation with him to discuss your circumstance.
Okay, so some people mow their grass every week. They're, very religious about it, very good about it. Some people say, hey, I'm more interested in the environment. It's better to let the grass grow a little longer. What's the cutoff? Like, is it at your knees? Is it at your ankles? Like, is there a standard?
Under New York State code, it's outside of the village is 10 inches.
Okay, so that would be the same for
All,
the
everything
village?
else, that's the state code. The village is not defining a number.
So it's
And
just,
the village is saying you need to take care of your yard. And then they would fall back on the state if you actually totally ignored it. If you wanted to have a pollinator garden, you wanted to do something
Right.
unique,
Yeah.
then you go to the ZBA for a variance to have something other than a yard, something a little out of the ordinary. I would get hammered by this right now because I have milkweed growing in my front
right,
yard,
Yeah, me too.
hoping
So
that
what?
it's gonna be a migrant, butterfly's
Right.
gonna show up. Yeah, I could go and say I'm trying a wildlife garden here, and unless it's something totally ridiculous like a ragweed garden, I could appear before the ZBA if necessary. We have a codes officer that has
Right.
he has to have judgment on these things.
okay. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else?
I guess I'll speak, I'm
Okay.
not super comfortable with cameras though, but, I don't need my face to be, on camera, but I will say that, I overall agree with having more, to help, I guess, have a standard, more so for people who are just really not, like absentee landlords or people just putting trash and expecting that to be other people's problem, littering in their front yards, things like that, leaving couches out for weeks, months. Those types of things, I think some of the things in here are I would have questions about, such as like inspection of property, and inspection of property, no number A, the letter A, the code enforcement officer, or his designee is authorized and directed to enter and inspect. I mean, that's a little broad, I don't really know, like,
Specific to apartments.
is there a specific context for that?
I was asking that if it was specific to
Because I think it's a little
apartments,
open-ended how it's written.
rentals, et cetera.
No. I think in some cases, I don't want to be specific, where backyards had turned into junkyards, giving him the authority to actually inspect, has it been cleaned up after it's been cited that it had to be removed? Giving him authority to actually follow up.
Okay, so there has to be like a precursor, like,
Yeah, he's not gonna wander around in his backyard
Yeah.
looking for something.
well, no, I mean, if someone's like, hey, I'm here, there's been a complaint, and I have access now to your property, like, that's a little bit, like, do you? Because I'm the property owner, and is this complaint founded or not? Like, I think that's like a kind of a very broad sweeping, but I agree with the general, I think, goal of promoting a certain level of, like, we should all be accountable for a basic amount of maintenance, right? So that we don't bring rodents, all the other sort of consequences that can come from completely skirting responsibility for basic things, right? I don't think it should be punitive. I think others have concerns, like, could this be a punitive thing? Some of these things are subjective, like you have a vine in your yard and you like landscaping that's a little more, whatever. Like, some of that's subjective. Having a dead tree, well, that's a little different, right? It's a dead tree, it's very cut and dry. So anyone can look at that and be like, that's a risk, that's a dead tree, versus, that's a vine, it's a little bit wild, Like, I don't know how far, I guess there's a spectrum there, so maybe certain things could be defined, but.
And a lot of things are based upon complaints being filed.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to use names. There was a complaint filed about somebody's backyard. And it turns out those people had a registered National Wildlife Federation
Yeah.
wildlife backyard. So it didn't conform to what most people thought their backyard should be, but it was their backyard. And it had been recognized by the National Wildlife Federation. So did our code say, oh, you got to mow it down? No, there's ways around those things. And a lot of these things would be pointed toward absentee landlords that you mentioned, who are,
Because they're not
the rental
care.
properties are
They
not
don't-
being,
They don't care.
right.
They're being
Right.
compensated.
They're not part of our community.
They're not part of the community, correct, and they don't have any stake in the game, and they don't experience the consequence of their lack of, doing the right thing for the tenants in the building and so forth.
And they don't expect their tenants to do any maintenance either, in a lot of cases, so that's, yeah.
I've received emails from people who were interested in selling their houses, and we talked to a realtor, but had a nuisance neighbor, and have been told that it's gonna cost them $20,000 in what they could list their house for. So that's, it's got a real effect on neighbors who have to live next to this stuff.
Yep.
And there's no pretense that this is perfect. This is an attempt. This isn't amending an existing law to try and improve. Could be doing it again 6 months from now.
Right.
Thank you. Okay.
I'm from Miller. James Miller Division. I'm for this, by the way. I think it's valuable and important for the community. What I'm curious about is there a structure to the codes officers' managing of our village? Is it by complaint only? Is there some, plan for he doesn't just, or she doesn't just respond to complaints? They're out there and they're observing as well.
Yes and no.
Because I'd be concerned with it was just complaints, then that could lead to some targeting.
It's a combination. frankly, if you look at his workday, half of each day is probably inspecting
Okay.
fire
I was just
codes and
curious
stuff.
about
Then listens to the answering machine for the complaints, will respond to complaints, and then is also aware of things in the community and he's out there doing the inspections.
So he's driving,
Does
he's driving
mention
the
things.
village constantly.
Okay, so he will notice anything that's egregious, like, people paving their front yard to park.
Has he? Has he noticed?
No, I said just like things like that.
Right,
Yeah.
Okay,
right.
thank you.
I would like to add too that I do have rodents in my yard. They're chipmunks and squirrels. Just saying, when you use the term rodent, it's not, I'm not gonna get rid of the chipmunks, I'm not gonna get rid of the squirrels.
Call us when you got rats.
No, don't call us.
What
Sir.
about groundhogs?
In your front yard, you've got a problem.
Our backyard. They're in our backyard.
I think they're in everybody's backyard.
Is there anyone else? If not, could I have a motion to adjourn and close the public hearing?
Second.
Okay, moving on to the regular
Thanks,
meeting.
everyone.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Could I have a motion approving the village board meeting minutes from August 21st, 2025?
Second.
Discussion?
I read them, so I'm gonna vote.
Excellent.
There wasn't-
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Trustees' comments. Joe, we're going to start with you.
Citizens.
Oh, citizens?
Yeah.
Okay. Any citizens would like to address the board? Hearing none, we'll go on to Joe.
I'll stick to the agenda, thank you.
Trustee
Who had
Shepherd?
who had the Canton Woods folder?
I did.
You did? Okay, Megan asked me to take care of it.
Yeah, it's awesome.
The agenda, other than that's fine.
Okay.
Agenda for me, thank you.
Agenda tonight, thanks.
I think I'm sticking to the agenda also. I just wanted to mention one thing to any village employees, that includes board members, judges, whatever, who have not yet completed their workplace violence training or sexual harassment. If you need new codes, if you need any help, check with Jody before she departs. So do it within the next week or this week. It isn't like you're going to be kicked off the board or whatever, but the village could be fined by the Department of Labor if we're in violation of these trainings that every employer has to do annually. So if you haven't done it, or if you're not sure if you've done it, check with Jody. Other than that, we'll move to department heads.
I'll just make a comment about the property maintenance. It was designed, really, I don't think anybody would say that they wouldn't want to live in a village that wasn't upkept, that is, that didn't look nice, that didn't have unlicensed cars in the front yard and that sort of thing. And it just basically is meant to keep the village standards the way that it should be. But the other thing is that the codes officer is a person. And when there are issues, you talk to the codes officer and people are understanding. And so it's not as though there's going to be armed people coming around and knocking on your door and coming into the house. The codes officer is a very, very fine person and very understanding with a lot of things. So I frankly, I don't foresee any issues with this.
It takes a bit to get to the ZBA. There are many ways to resolve things first.
Other than that, I'll stick with the agenda.
Okay, thank you.
I will stick with the agenda, thank you.
Okay, moving on to our treasurer.
I just have a couple of things. Number one, I think in your abstract that you got for approval tonight, there is a piece of equipment or device that the police department is procuring that appears to put us way over budget in the equipment line. it's something that they've gotten a grant for, and there's a grant in process on its way here that will cover, I believe, the entire cost. So I just didn't want you to be panicky about that. We'll have a budget modification for next meeting for that, and, that will take care of that. So it's not, you're not,
Thank you, I noticed that.
yeah, I appreciate that.
Somebody is going to cover it somehow.
Yeah. So, the second thing is that you got in your email today, a copy of the proposal from Bonadeo Group about, the pros and cons of us changing the fiscal year. The cost of that work is $6,500. I would appreciate it if you would take a look at it for the next couple of weeks, and we'll approve it, or we'll vote one way or the other on it at the next meeting, or you will vote one way or the other.
$500 is them doing a study and evaluating the feasibility and the pros and cons.
Yes, and the pros and cons, and whether we need to do it or don't need to do it, and what the benefits or I'll call it detractions are if we don't do it. So, and then there's a part B of that, which is kind of, it's not really dependent. It goes with part A. If you approve it, is them doing all the work to assemble what we need to do, and what the timeline needs to be, and the agencies we need to deal with, and all that. And that's $13,500. So it's a $20,000 project to do it. And then any additional help we need from them afterwards, which is, a la carte, like hourly, depending on what we need their help with.
Frame-wise, when do you see that if we went forward, we would need to have it in place? This January 1st. Would you?
Well, the budget that we do coming up at the end of this year, which is for the year beginning in 2026, is only going to be a 10-month budget if we decide to change, because
Changing for January 1st, 2027.
I mean, I think, honestly, we probably could change whenever we want. If we look at this thing and say, holy cow, we'll never be able to do this in the time frame we've got, then we want to push it out, we could probably do that. But if you want to coincide with the first November election of the village, you would make a budget from March 1st of 26 to December 31st of 26, and then your budget year would begin in January 1st of 27 and be calendar year. And that would kind of sync up with a November election, that you elect people in November and a new budget takes effect January 1st. Rather than the way it was, where it was March 1st and one of the steps that they have in this when you review it is that they're going to reach out to villages around the state that have a May 31st fiscal year end, because there's a number of them in the state, and there are a number of them that are February. They're going to reach out to them, and ones that have changed, or ones that have looked at it and decided not to change, and see what their process was and why they did or why they didn't, so that we can get that feedback. But, so tentatively, when we begin the budget process this year, it will be for March 1st to December 31st. So it would be nice to get on this.
Okay, there's no agenda item.
There is not, no. Unless you,
Can it wait
unless
till the
you,
next board meeting?
in fairness to you, I don't like to, blindside, give you an expense like that and say, hey, you got like a few minutes and then you need to make a decision. So that's kind of up to you. If you say we're comfortable with it, then.
Two trustees, not even
Yeah,
present.
right. So I think in fairness to me, it's the second meeting in September, and then we'll accelerate the CPA firm.
If you can work with our clerk before then to get an agenda item, we'll address it in the next meeting.
Okay. And the last thing is that I'm beginning to work on the bond for the truck that the DPW is about to receive, or I think you're going to get in October. So that will be coming up as an agenda item, beginning probably next meeting, to probably set a public hearing and
See, we have an agenda item that will factor into that process also.
yeah, Bob and I need to review the process again, because it's been a while since I did it, and just fit that onto the calendar. And then, but that's coming up in so, and just as a reminder, it'll be that plow truck, plus it'll be that utility truck, I call it, the bucket truck. So,
And maybe the agenda items that are on tonight's agenda.
I was gonna ask you about that. I was kind of waiting to see how that went, like to see what came out of that, but my sense was they were covered by a grant. We're gonna,
Not those vehicles, no, not these three. These are-
okay. So maybe the agenda items also.
Okay.
We could bundle.
Yeah,
That's what I figured, we'd have a municipal bond that includes them all.
right. Okay, thanks.
Taryn, you're up.
Real quick, just want to remind everybody, I put a notification out earlier in the week. Crews will be around tomorrow, September 5th, removing non-compliant signs inside the right-of-way and on utility poles. And also going into the fall season, leaves and brush will be out. Just remind everybody that crews will be starting when the heavy leaf falls in first week of October. Crews will be around every week doing brush and leaf removal. Please put on the side of the road and not in the road. That's all I have.
Do we have a way of logging or tracking these signs that are on telephone poles for repeat offenders? Because, and does anybody know how they get them 15 feet up the telephone?
I have no
pole? They
idea.
Some guy just
Yeah.
shimmy up there? Because, long story short, it's an expense for us to send the bucket truck out and guys to remove these signs that are placed illegally. Joe and I and the mayor, we had some texting about it this week, about some of them that are same people, repeat offenders, over and over and over. I would remove them once. The second time I would charge them our bucket truck time, our labor time to remove the signs.
Do we have
a way of quantifying that?
I mean, I think we'd have to have a code that specifies that, right? To charge for time?
There's fines for illegal signs, there's a sign code.
Okay.
We don't go around fining. They end up in court. That's where those people would end.
So we see a sign and it's for somebody wanting to wash your roof and it's illegally placed and Joe made a call and, oh yeah, we'll take care of it, we'll get it down, sorry, we didn't know. That should be the start and end of the conversation. They should have come back and got the signs the next day. Sure enough, it's a week later, you're gonna be taking them down tomorrow. At our expense. I think there's
The
gotta,
village taxpayers' expense.
I think there's gotta be a way for us to say, we removed this person's sign in September, and here we are in October doing the same damn thing.
Sure.
I would suggest we keep a sample. Keep one of the signs.
Well, I got pictures too, so.
Yeah, but to say they're repeat offenders,
Right,
I don't remember who we took down.
So I'm saying, if you could.
The last time.
A Excel spreadsheet would say that this company.
Sure.
We removed 10 of them in September, and here we are in October removing another 10. They're not getting the point. The only way they're gonna get the point to stop hanging these signs illegally is punitive and financial.
Sure, we do that.
Chief or Lieutenant, have anybody on our staff ever reported seeing people in the middle of the night putting these signs up?
No, but Lieutenant and I have actually had these conversations. We're guessing that they're back in a pickup truck and somebody's in the bed of the truck and they're screwing them in with a powerless, cordless drill of some sort or something, and then moving along. And, to do that probably takes 20, 25, 30 seconds tops. And some of these companies are probably very adept at it because I see the same signs and don't like the look of it as well. So, it doesn't take, if we've got one of our patrol cars, 3:30 in the morning up in Candlewick, somebody at the Four Corners to do this, it's not gonna take them long to run signs on East Genesee Street. Our cars are marked, they're visible, they, it's not too hard to figure out. They just went through the Four Corners. All right, we got 5 minutes to put up 4 signs. And that's really all it's gonna take them. So, and some of the companies I see all along the Route 31 corridor, all the way up to Great Northern Mall.
I was pleased that in my mind there were fewer this go around in Baldwinsville than in the past.
Like anything, if you take them down quickly and they just realize it's a loss and we should stop going there because it's a waste of their time, because they're gonna be taken down within 12 to 16 hours and they're not gonna get the benefit of that time and visibility. Now, that creates more work for, Terrence's team, and Tim and stuff, needlessly, obviously.
That's where I was going.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what being distracted.
Without a
Those
doubt.
guys have,
Oh, they got plenty to do otherwise.
exactly.
I'm sure of
This
that.
isn't part of that.
Yeah, certainly.
Any other questions for the DPW superintendent? And we'll move on to the police chief.
Thank you, Mayor. Obviously, the first week of school started. We've got our cadre of school resource officers up on our school campuses across the district, up at Baker High School. Officer Quattrini and Officer Hollenbeck are there. Officer Hollenbeck will go over to Durkee occasionally if needed, where Officer Zappatello is, and then at Eldon School, Officer Knoll, and over at Van Buren School, Officer Sarankowski are manning those 2 elementary buildings. And we work cooperatively with the Onondaga County Sheriff's Office, who stations individuals and their deputies at the schools outside the village. So it's a real cooperative effort to provide safety and security for all the school students and staff and visitors to the school system there throughout the year. And I'm sure people realized school is in session with the increase in traffic in the mornings here. Tomorrow, there's a press conference at the school district's transportation center. Dr. DeBarbery, the superintendent of schools, myself, and a representative from AAA are all going to speak. It's being sponsored by the Onondaga County Traffic Safety Advisory Board. And the goal is to try and raise awareness, much like the campaign that we've tried to work on here in Baldwinsville, about pedestrian safety, and specifically the school students who may or may not be either walking to school, not only here in Baldwinsville, but across the whole county, or waiting for the school bus. A lot more traffic, a lot more people, and so we're going to be hosting that. I'm very pleased that they chose Baldwinsville this year to do that. And then lastly, Mayor, as I mentioned to the board a month ago, in a few days here, I'll hit my 38th anniversary with the village, and over 17 years as chief. And I feel as though it's probably a good time for me to move on. And so I'll be retiring by the end of the year, as I explained to you and this board about a month ago. It's been nothing but an honor and a privilege for me to work here in Baldwinsville for pretty much my entire adult life. So obviously, I'm not going to be going anywhere real quick, and be here through the transition, through the end of the year to the next chief, and look forward to working with that individual and to ensure a seamless transition for the organization, and move forward from there.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mayor.
Reserve my comments for a future date.
I'll have more to say also, but this is going to be.
At least you're able to feel comfortable to announce it to the community. So
Yes,
they're aware.
to announce to the community so they're aware, and I'll have a lot more to say in the future also. Thank you.
Ed, a quick question.
Yes,
Do
sir.
you know, I was asked this, and I hopefully didn't give incorrect information. Does Baldwinsville go and add cameras to the swing arm stop signs for?
Yes, so actually, that's one of the things I'm going to bring up tomorrow. Dr. DeBarbery and I actually had a phone call today to ensure what we were each going to talk about, that it was on point but not the same, and similar but not exact. And Baldwinsville is one of the, I think, 6 or 7 districts in the county that have those cameras on the swing arms. And so if people do go past those school buses with those cameras, tickets will be sent to the registered owner of those vehicles. So that program will be expanding in the future, is my understanding. So I'm very pleased that here in our community, that's going to be an addition to the whole traffic pedestrian safety goals that we have in our community to try and raise awareness and to increase the safety of everyone who's utilizing the roadways in whatever fashion they are. So yes,
Thank you.
absolutely. Thank you for bringing that up.
Moving on to pending business. I could have a motion to amend Chapter 248 of the Village Code to modify and clarify the rules for property maintenance.
I'll move it.
Second.
Discussion?
Had enough discussion.
We will take all of your comments under consideration to make sure that the law does what our community needs. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Item 7, new business. Motion authorizing the mayor to sign the contract between the DPW, AFSCME Local 2970, and the Village of Baldwinsville.
Motion.
Second?
Discussion?
It was really nice negotiation. Everyone had the same goal.
Yep.
We saw the top of the mountain. We were each on either side, so we couldn't see each other at first. But four or five meetings, we ironed it out.
It became very fair for both sides.
Like we said in the very first meeting, in the very first sentence, if we both leave not happy, we did a good job.
Yep.
So we've got a contract and it's 3 years, I believe.
And do you get a break now?
No.
No. Very good.
No,
Wanted to make sure of that.
I actually had text messages yesterday regarding
The next contract.
next one.
Okay.
Back at it again.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Can I mention something though? Maybe I should mention it now. Who is gonna be on that negotiation committee other than Nate and I? Can I recruit Megan?
I don't care. Sure.
Okay, I'll ask her. See what she says.
If you want.
All right.
She's been around for quite a while. Item B, motion authorizing the mayor to sign the SRO, Student Resource Officer, agreement with the Baldwinsville Central School District for the 2025-2026 school year.
Moved.
Second.
Just a comment, Mayor, this has already been approved by the school board.
If I could add a comment, as I read through it, unless I read it wrong, it sounded like they agreed to pay the officer that's working, as opposed to the original thing that you
No,
said.
No, I believe Officer Sarah is in there. However, he's our last officer off probation that we've hired. But he came with some previous experience, so he's at a higher level. So that's how that reads.
Okay,
Fair enough?
okay, it's not how I read it, but okay. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. It's great to have a beneficial relationship with the school district.
Yes, for sure.
You know, for the police department, we've had the school resource officer formalized program since the 2000-2001 school year. So it's a long time that has been in existence. Previously to that, Ann Vertrees was in the school when I started back in '87 in a quasi part-time SRO capacity. We have no more important community relationship than with the school district, as evidenced by, the amount of resources we allocate to our school buildings, and the partnership we have with them, with the salaries and benefits and things in the contract that we have with them. From our point of view, it's hand in hand.
Thank you. Item C, a motion authorizing the police department to purchase 3 Ford Explorers marked patrol
I don't
vehicles.
think you voted.
Did we not vote? All in favor of the SRO program? Aye. Opposed? Carried. Now, could I have a motion authorizing the police department to purchase 3 2025 Ford Explorer marked patrol vehicles, including uplift and extended warranties, upfit, and extended warranties at a cost not to exceed $159,000.
Move it.
Second.
Discussion?
Comfortable to pay for it.
What we're gonna do?
Does this include, that number include the value of trade-ins coming off?
Yes, and actually, this number is probably high. I was conservative in putting this in there just to ensure that whoever it is takes my place doesn't have to circle back and ask for more money. This does include that trade-in number. It will likely be maybe slightly less than this. But that also includes taking out of all the stuff and putting in of all the new as well. So, you know, and we'll work with Taryn and his team on some of that stuff as far as the rear box that we have back there and things like that. So we might be able to mitigate some of those costs a little bit further. So we'll see how that all shakes out.
Any other questions?
So I just want to be clear too, the extended warranty, if I remember right, gives us more flexibility in the duration of the debt that we can take on for it, so that we could keep the vehicles a little longer to keep the debt service lower if we needed to, depending on where, you know, how all the numbers work out.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other piece of it too, Mark, is that, you know, the general warranty is 3 years. And we have always kept the vehicles at least 4 years.
Right.
So what we're finding is in that fourth year, we're running up against, you know, because the miles have now built up, it's a lot of idle time. It's not like our vehicles are driving up and down the highway. They're hard miles in the village, so at a low speed. So, you know, and a lot of turns and a lot of use of the brakes. So we're running into repair issues and transmission issues specifically with those vehicles, which could lead to major costs that aren't in warranty. So to get that warranty to cover that time period when it's now out of warranty and the village is going to have to pay for that out of budgeted funds, just makes sense to get the extended warranty on them. And then we can sort out how long the term for the note's going to, for the bond is going to be.
What's the delivery on these, or when is it delivered?
They're going to be delivered to our vendor sometime here in mid-September, and then we'll start shuttling our vehicles over to him to strip things out and put things back in. So over the next 2-3 months, that will occur, and we'll get them into our patrol fleet.
Right.
We've also got new in-car cameras and body cameras that we're going to be installing into these as well. So realistically, you know, for a solid 4 years or so, we're not going to have to worry about body cameras, in-car cameras, vehicles, all those types of things that are big ticket items. And obviously, with ARPA funds earlier this year, we purchased some new handguns and new rifles. So those have a 5 to 10 year life expectancy as well. So from an infrastructure point of view for equipment needs, we're going to be in a very good position moving forward.
And so you don't need money until you actually take delivery for them, I'm assuming, or
Correct.
we don't need to hash it out right here, but we should talk about that in the next few days and just
Yeah,
figure
well,
out
for
what the
two of the vehicles
schedule
we
is.
will, because they're purchased off a grant, so we're gonna have to pay those first, and then submit for reimbursement on them
Right.
through the state.
Right.
We've got $100,000 to cover that cost, which will be most of the cost of those two vehicles. We might have to do a little bit, but we've talked about that before.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, you and I can get together over the next few days and work that out with the
So does the
lieutenant.
bonding need to be in place before any of these vehicles are delivered, whether it's DPW or police? You have to have the finance legally, because the finance.
That's like a tricky question. It doesn't absolutely need to be, but it's not like we can be waiting until December, January. We go kind of cash flow light in January, starting in right around middle of December to January. So I don't want to have loaned a bunch of money out of the general fund to pay for stuff like this that we're waiting for reimbursement on. I'd like to get that all done and have the cash so that we're not, it just starts to get tight then,
Okay.
so.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Wonderful.
Any public comments that have nothing to do with the agenda? Hearing none, could I have a motion to pay bills as audited?
Second.
You have a motion to adjourn the meeting
Motion.
at 6:50?
Moved. Does it second it?
Yep.
Yeah, Nate and I did.
Yep.